Get that out of the way.
Welcome to Grapecast Volume 9. I'm here with Mike. My name is Anna. And today we are looking at the Ponzi wines that Mike has brought in for us. So you can see that bottle pretty good. So we have the Ponzi, what is it, the Pinot Gris?
Yeah,
and
Pinot Gris.
Also the Pinot Gris, sorry. And also the Pinot Noir.
20 seconds on Snapchat.
Well, yeah, 20 seconds in. Whatnot. All right, so I'm going to let Mike take it from here. Go ahead and tell us what you got for us. These are some things that we're putting on the menu next week, so we're really excited about this. So.
Awesome. Well, thank you. Well, I am as excited about these wines. Ever since I have started working with Grapecasts and Grapes of Gallery, I will not shut up about Oregon wines. We're hitting the table. Sorry.
Yeah,
I do that. But earlier this year, I got to go to Oregon with my wife, and we spent about a week going through Willamette Valley and tasting everything. And I completely have a new respect and fell in love with it. And although throughout this podcast, I might be saying things that sound like I'm not for California wines, that's not true. I love California wines, but Oregon is a completely different beast. So I'm super excited about Oregon and wines and Ponzi. So quick, small history of Oregon wine. Basically, California got started. There was a lot of the old world was snubbing their noses up at us. And then there was, you could say one of the big events was the 1976 France versus America wine tasting that we did very well in. And then that kind of got it all started. But Oregon was forgotten about, and a lot of people thought it was too cool to go up to Oregon and to grow wine. They thought it was too humid there. And a guy named Richard Sumner actually was the first guy to go up there. He left UC Davis, which in California is the big, that has always been, that's the big viticultural enology center of California and America. So he graduated, he told his professors he was going up north. They said it's a silly idea, and he did it anyways. He didn't make it as far up as Willamette Valley. He stopped about Rogue Valley, which is just a little shy up and doesn't quite have the same climate conditions that are perfect that Willamette Valley does have. But anyways, he started it, and then a couple other small groups of people randomly kind of got there all at the same time with the same idea. We're going to make great wine. So the difference between Oregon wine and California wine, other than obviously terroir, everything involved in that, the climate, Oregon's kind of on the same latitude as France and as Burgundy, where Pinot Noir is from, and it's great. But yeah, it was a close-knit group of people who really had the idea of, we want to make this work. None of them knew what they were doing. Very few. I think Dick E. Rath might have been one of the only people who made wine before. Not a lot of people had made wine before, and all of them contributed differently. And it was very much like, neighbor, if you succeed, I succeed. If I need a cup of sugar, I'm going to ask you. Mm-hmm. And in California, that concept was a little bit different. It was a lot more competitive. But in Oregon, since nobody believed in it, if you succeed, I succeed. And other things that they did right off the bat, which I absolutely love. They said sometime around this time, California had done a couple of things to kind of bastardize the names of different wines. For example, even today, I think if a lot of us hear Burgundy or Chablis, we think of box cooking wine. Whereas Burgundy is fantastic Chardonnay and Pinot Noir, Chablis, Chardonnay, one of the greatest, nicest Chardonnays in the world. And so very early on, a lot of the legislators and lobbyists within the small circle said, we're going to make it so Oregon wines, if they come from Willamette Valley, if they say it on the label, they have to be from Willamette Valley. If they say Pinot Noir on the label. Right now, I think if it says Pinot Noir on the label in Oregon, it has to be 90 or 95% Pinot Noir. In California, it's 75%. So you don't really know what you're getting in there. And it's actually, in our business, it's a little troubling because a lot of people try this Pinot Noir and they say that doesn't taste like Pinot Noir. And it's actually, no, you don't know what Pinot Noir tastes like. You're used to something that might be laced with Syrah or Malbec or something to give it extra color or extra something else. So anyways, that was my long-winded thing. So let's drink this and I'll talk to you about it. But this is Pinot Gris.
Just real quick, just a very simple question. I know that you and I talked earlier about beer tasting versus wine tasting, and I know that with beer tasting, we always recommend for people to start with something lighter, whether it be alcohol content or mouthfeel or the body of the beer or the wine itself. I mean, that's the same with wine as well, and you don't want to go with something.
Yeah, you always kind of want to think about the wine you're drinking second.
Okay. So we have the two. We have the Pinot Grigio and the Pinot Noir. So we're going with the Pinot Gris first.
Yeah, okay. And this is, regardless, we're only showing 2 wines, so it's pretty easy. But this is a great little palate cleanser too. It's a great in between before you cross the threshold into the reds. You have just because the question comes up, Pinot Grigio and Pinot Gris,
yes.
Exact same grape. They're both mutations. Years ago, where, some guy was walking through his fields in France and he saw Pinot Noir that was gray, and so he said, "Oh, what is this?"
So gray Gris meaning gray.
Gris or Grigio in respective languages. Gris in French, Grigio is in Italian. Went backwards. It just means gray. So if you ever see Pinot Blanc or Pinot Bianca, that means white. Pinot Nero, Pinot Noir, that means black or dark. So that's all it is.
Okay.
But stylistically, they can be very different. Personally, I kind of prefer the Pinot Gris, which would be the Oregon French style.
And again, for all of the new wine drinkers, tasters, whatnot, seeing it, looking at the color, it's a very clear color. It's got a little bit of tint to it, but very clean, crisp looking.
It is.
And swirling it just gets some of the air to the wine.
Yeah. This thing's been asleep for months. It's gone from the barrel to the bottle, and it's had it's been lying here dormant. And the second you put some air in it, it starts to wake up and do things. So you kind of want to make that happen. But so anyways, I guess I can say this. I don't know. We were trying it the other. It's in my business. I'm not a cocky person, and so it's rare to get cocky. But I brought these wines in last week knowing that they automatically were going to win because they're amazing. And then she said, I won't say what Pinot Grigio it was. Can you try it against this Pinot Grigio? And I was like, yes, you can try this against any Pinot Grigio you have. It's definitely going to win. It's not really a competition. But there's just so much going on in here. I feel bad for everybody watching this at home who's not getting to try it. You can come in and try it. Both of these wines have been added to the list. But yeah, it's a perfect fish wine. I don't think a better fish wine's been made. And it's a very nice sipping wine too. Yeah,
I like it a lot. It's definitely more complex than most Pinot Gris or Pinot Grigios that I've had.
Mm-hmm.
I guess with me not being a white wine pursuer, I guess is the best word. I mean, here I try everything all the time. But if I personally am out looking for something, I'm not looking for a Pinot Gris or a Pinot Grigio. But to me, whenever I do taste them, they are very clean, citrusy, or whatnot. But this one seems a little more complex. Has a lot more flavor to it. I don't know how to describe this.
No, that's true. I mean, the rough way to describe it is a lot of these are hit it and quit it. You get a little something going on and then it's done. This isn't like that at all. I mean, even now I'm still tasting. For me, I'm getting nice elements of like honey and things on the end of it that I think are beautiful. But yeah, it's start to finish, there's a lot going on here. And a lot of that, I would say, has to do with the growing season. Again, cooler climate, very, very long growing season, which gives the inside of the grape so much time to develop so many different phenolic compounds and so many different things going on.
Science.
I don't think about
science. It works.
But that is the delicious Pinot Gris.
Yep, and this is going on the menu, so you'll be available to purchase this starting next week when we get our order in. So come try it out.
And this is their Pinot Noir. So while she's finishing that up, I do want to tell you that the Ponzi. So I mentioned that everybody who started this, there's kind of like 5 families that are, I guess, considered the 5 founders of the Oregon wine industry. And if you ever have an hour and I'm here and you want to hear about Oregon, I will talk your head off. I love Oregon. This guy. But amongst them, and I probably can't name them all, but it's David Lett, David Adelschein, or the wineries, I guess, are Elk Cove, Adelschein, Ponzi, Sokol-Blosser. One more. Look it up at home. Inserts right here. But yeah, so Dick and Nancy Ponzi were the people who started this particular one. At this point, it's actually their daughter who's the winemaker, who's kind of continuing on, so they're on the 2nd generation here. And so we're kind of talking, all these guys kind of really got started in the 70s. Mid-70s, maybe early 80s, was when a guy named Robert Parker, if you know him, came in and kind of said, this wine's actually fantastic. Doesn't matter where you drink it or what you drink. It's amazing stuff. And he did it at some point. A French winemaker who makes Drouhin in France and makes fantastic wines. Kind of caught hold. His daughter, I think, worked with one of these wineries. It might have been Ponzi, might have been so-called Blosser. But anyways, he fell in love with it. And I think the real thing that said, hey, they're doing real stuff up here was when Domaine Drouin opened, which was like, wow, this is a real French producer, and he's invested all this money in this area. These guys actually are on their game. And now, I mean, Oregon Pinot Noirs fetch, much higher prices than a lot of the Pinot Noirs in the market.
So you mentioned the Pinot Noir as far as some of us are not familiar with what an actual Pinot Noir grape tastes like because we're used to some things being blended. What is this? Is that the same with the Pinot Gris or the Pinot Grigio? Are there ever any blends of like 80%?
There's a lot of questions. No, it's not. It's there's a lot of different people who do a lot of different things. Now, again, in Oregon, the only thing in Oregon that they are allowed to have lower than, I think it's 95, it might be 90%. There's a number there. The only thing they're allowed to have less than that in there and still put a varietal name on them, I think, is Cabernet, because Cabernet is traditionally a French grape, and it's in the Bordeaux, but it's traditionally a blending grape. All Bordeaux's generally are a Cab blend, a Merlot blend, something like that. So, and again, they were trying to stay with the French idea. At some point, we'll do Oregon Chardonnays, remember, and I'll tell you it's extremely long, awesome Oregon Chardonnay. She's actually writing this down. It's beautiful. I am. But anyways, so the one thing I was going to say about the Ponzi. So again, all the different families, they had something. Jim Bernot, who does Willamette Valley Vineyards wines, he was his father was a lawyer. He was a huge lobbyist. He did a lot of legislation to make all these lands here are not going to be residential. These have got to be agricultural. Things that if these guys in the original set of people hadn't done, then it would all be a mess today. But with the Ponzi's, one of the big things that they did to it, Dick Ponzi was an engineer, and way over the time. I'm supposed to be watching time. Dick Ponzi was an engineer for Disney World. So he designed Disney World park rides. So he brought the engineering side to it. So I actually got to visit his winery, and this is several iterations of before he got what he wanted. But it's all gravity based. So it starts at the top, and the first floors, where the grapes come in, and through every process, they are just shot down to the next floor. So it's very conservative minded, and kind of the direction we're all going in. This is their Tavola Pinot Noir. This is an expensive Pinot Noir. Don't think that it's the Vinda Tavola, the low table wine. It's called Tavola because it's an Italian family. That's where wine belongs. It belongs on the table. It brings people together. But a lot of times when you think of Tavola, it's a cheap wine, but you'll be mistaken when you try to buy this and think it's a cheap wine. Yes, definitely. And it doesn't smell or taste cheap either. Pinot Noir is probably one of my favorite. I think this is how this all started, is because you told me Pinot Noir was your favorite. Yeah, you were challenging me. Yeah, I said, well, let me get you something for it. Yeah, I think you blew me out. Great food wine, so much going on. You can look at the color. I mean, you can't really see it on there, but it's not as dark. It's not super watery either. I mean, for a while we were getting that problem, but with a lot of Pinot Noirs on the market, but it's not super dark. Yeah, it's not as dark as the color it should be. Yeah, as most Pinot Noirs that I see, but it's full of flavor, definitely. Yeah, I'm excited to add that one. Thank you. I'm excited to come here and drink it. So thank you for joining us for another Grapecast. Other fun things happening. If you're watching this on Tuesday, then tomorrow night is our rosé tasting. If you're watching some other day, you missed out. But tomorrow night we're doing a rosé tasting. This has been, in my experience, probably your experience too, this is the summer of rosés. I tried so long to make rosés happen. I'm so happy it's finally happening. They are delicious. They are not sweet. There will be no white Zinfandel tomorrow night whatsoever. But come out at 6:30 to Grapes, and I'll be in the corner. And not only will you be getting to try things, but you're going to be a very pivotal part of us deciding what the new rosé you can come in here and drink anytime you want is going to be. So every vote counts. Yeah, we're going to add one of the rosés to the menu, so we'll have more options for you guys. But the other two will be just for pre-orders only. Real quick, a little snippet about rosés. Rosés get their color because... That's not a real quick thing. But but there's the exposure time. The real quick is the exposure time from the skin to the grape contact. because
I get
that's what
questions
gives it
about
the
that a lot.
coloring. So white Zinfandel, and it's not I don't particularly care for it, but it's white Zinfandel. Zinfandel is actually red grape, and if it has a longer exposure, skin contact, seed contact, it gets that color. If they were to do it for a prolonged amount of time, it would be actual Zinfandel, which is a very nice, dark, delicious varietal. So, yes.
This guy knows a lot.
I talk a lot.
No, you don't. You know a lot. So appreciate it very much. Check out all of our events on our Facebook page, which would just be facebook.com and then /grapes and gallery all spelled out. Also, you can join our closed group, which we will probably let you in if you ask. Just kidding. You'll get in instantly. Just search for Team Grapes, TEAM Grapes at Facebook. So we can add you to that, and you'll get first pick on any of our wine tastings, any of our special events, that sort of thing. You'll know when Mike's here to taste with us. We have him up for a few things this month, so
yes,
it should be fun.
Yes.
So,
come
cheers.
join us. Chin chin.
Great cheers. Chin chin to that. All right, we're signing off.